That's it. It's done. It's over. Pack it up. I'm going home. Bitcoin is done. It's going to zero. No, actually, it's not. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Leon, and this is Crypto Decoded. And I know I haven't made a video in a while, but I today was the perfect day to come back on because the market dumped, and I'm pretty sure everyone is asking the question why. So I have a couple suggestions and some suspicions, so let's get into it. I'm not going to keep you long, so this is going to be a quick video. First of all, let's talk about the market sell-off today. Bitcoin dumped down to almost $29,000 before rebounding back to the low 40s, upper $30,000 range. Now, the question is, why did this happen? There is a lot of uncertainty in the financial markets these days, and there's this global impending financial crisis that everyone seems to feel, spurred with inflation concerns and coronavirus and geopolitical turmoil. It's just so many things that are happening globally that cause not just crypto to sell off, but all markets to sell off, whether it's equities, stocks, bonds, futures, uh, gold, commodities, everything sold off today. But Bitcoin really took the brunt of it. Now, the question is, why did Bitcoin fall as much as it did? Well, let's get into a little TA. If I pull up this chart here, this is the Bitstamp chart, and we're looking at the weekly. Let's go down to the daily. If you look at the daily, you see the sell-off for the day, and if we just do a quick measurement of this day, you see that we dumped down about 31%. Now that's a pretty big dump for a one-day sell-off. Now, in the traditional market, something like this normally does not happen. Part of the reason why is because there are regulations and there are tools, there are circuit breakers that are built into all stocks and into the Dow Jones, the indices, to prevent a massive sell-off like this. Normally, what happens is, like, let's say if you sell 10 to 15% down, you're going to get a circuit breaker that will trigger that will stop the sell-off. Now, why do these sell-offs happen? If we look at this chart, Bitcoin really started selling off from about 5 days ago. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, about 5 days ago, we started seeing this sell-off. And it kind of just accelerated with larger and larger and larger candles until we got this 30% dump. Now, the way this happens is a lot of trading that goes on happens algorithmically. And what happens is you have bots that are basically trading against each other and trading against us, the regular retail investor. And when we're trying to compete, bots, their jobs are to prevent as much loss as possible or acceptable loss. So what we tend to see is if there's a breakdown in price, there may be some parameter that's set within that bot that will tell it to close a position or go short on a position if certain parameters are met. And what this can cause is bots trading against each other in a cascading effect of closing orders or selling positions. And we can clearly see that today. Like if I drilled into just today, and let's go today, and let's go smaller. Let's go into like the 3 minute chart, right? We're gonna look at the 3 minute chart, and we're gonna look at this range here, and we can see this is on the 3 minute chart. We can see that we were trying to maintain, and there was a massive sell. More than likely, this was triggered by a bot or someone who just massively sold a large positions. But came back in, bought back up, and then the bots probably started hitting and selling again. And then it just accelerated from there until we got this dump all the way down to about 29,000. What is this? 29,000. Well, actually, on Bitstamp, we didn't get that low. We got to a low of $30,066. Now, why do I say this is bots? Like everyone is saying, Leon, this could be people logging into their accounts on Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini and, closing their positions. Yes and no. First of all, usually when this happens, when we start to get this accelerated sell-off, there is a kind of metric that helps to stop the market, you know, coincidentally. The exchanges grind to a halt. I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there were trying to log into your Coinbase accounts, your Gemini accounts, your Binance accounts, and you're trying to basically either buy or close positions, and you couldn't. And that was because a lot of the traffic that was going between exchanges seized up. And as a result, you, the retail trader, could not get in to place that buy or sell order, which is why I said I don't think it's retail. I think this is bots because the way bots trade is not through logging in via, a username and password. They log in via token or some API key, which has direct access to these trade-in tools, to the buy and sell orders. And when bots take over, we can get this cascade and liquidation all the way down as far as we went. Part of the reason why I think we stopped at 29,000 wasn't because, whoa, someone just decided to stop selling and they changed their mind. No, Coinbase, Binance, and I believe Kraken and even Gemini basically all either halted withdrawals or deposits, or you couldn't log in, or they suspended trading altogether. This caused this sell-off to basically eventually slow and just come to an abrupt stop. So what happened here is, I believe, after these bots no longer could sell, once the exchanges came back up, the average retail investor started piling back in and started buying back in. Now, here's the thing. We don't know what it's going to look like over the next few days for Bitcoin. Everyone was calling, or a lot of analysts was calling to see a $60,000 Bitcoin break. Like we just couldn't get above the $64,000 range, and there's a reason why. A, it could be because of manipulation. We had the FUD from Elon Musk. We had the China FUD today about them imposing new restrictions on Bitcoin. We had some other FUD about, tax season. So there's a lot against Bitcoin at the moment. And you can clearly see, like if we just draw a simple trend line here, from here, we saw we saw that we had basically what looked like to me a rising channel. And these usually technically break down. If we just take a look at what this looks like, these technically would normally break down, and we kind of did, and we created another one and we broke down. We were just doing these breakdowns. Now, going back to what I said, what do I see happening moving forward? Well, the thing is, we don't really have much support above in this region here. And if you take a look, we kind of hit certain targets. Like if I was to do a horizontal line, uh, oops, not that one. If I did a horizontal line, let's say I dropped a horizontal line right here at this low. We see we kind of stopped right here at this support line. And if I add another horizontal line, basically right here, we see that we just could not get back above this point. Now, if you look here, there really is not much trade in action that happened in this range, which is part of the reason why we fell through it so quickly. Not only that, if we look further down, this range right here is our only real level of support. We don't have anything supporting us until we get back to about $24,000. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go that low, but it is possible to go that low because there's just so much against Bitcoin right now. We close a daily candle now down in this region. It's anyone's guess. We could bounce, but if we don't get back above this $42,000 range, basically, it's gonna be basically smooth sailing down. Let me show you something else. If we throw on some moving averages here. I've got the 21 daily moving average, but I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this the 50-day moving average, and we're going to change this one, and let's make this the 200. And let's take a look at that. As you can see, we literally fell right below the 200 daily moving average, which is not a good thing. If we look at this on the weekly, we see we came very close to touching the 50-day moving average. Let's throw the ribbon on there. Yeah. So we're literally falling through. We're falling through all of our support lines. We're seeing the our old support now turn resistance, and to be honest, I don't see where we can, you know, go from here. I don't see a path up yet. We're probably gonna bounce a little bit more sideways before we see a return. Now, what does this mean for us going forward? We have to be very careful because I said it in my previous video before about Dogecoin, but I didn't say it about Bitcoin. And the same principles apply to Bitcoin. Doge, although a joke, can easily run to $1 just as it can as easily fall to 1 cent. Bitcoin, there's a lot of money moving through it, so falling that far would have, I thought would have been a little bit more difficult. But to see $500 billion wiped off the market cap for crypto so quickly, it's possible. It's possible. That's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it in the comments. Let me know what else you'd like to talk about in the future, and I'll keep you up to date. See ya.